Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. It is Thursday, November 30th, and man, oh man, we got a great show planned for you guys today. Thursdays with John McAroon, as always, and he is going to come and bring the knowledge, preview the game this weekend, all that and much more. But of course, the Morning Woodward Show crew, I got to introduce them. Sam Flannel, my partner in crime. We're both rocking flannels today. Very fitting. Looking good, my guy.
Yes, you too.
JB with the Redwings hat on, even though they took an L last night.
Even though they took an L. They're doing better than the Pistons.
They
That's
are.
all I can say.
They only lost 3-2 to the Rangers.
Speaking
The
of
Pistons.
L's, right?
The Pistons got torched by D'Angelo Russell. We'll go to Lucas Klotz, Toledo's finest.
Shout out Buckeyes. D'Angelo Russell, shout out.
Okay, yeah. Well, actually, you know what? I'll give you that. I will.
The last relevant player, I'd say.
Yeah.
Him and Jared Solinger, Evan Turner.
Oh, Jared Solinger and Evan Turner.
Aaron Kraft. Don't forget about Aaron Kraft. No, it's a 419, dog.
You know that Aaron Kraft is like the anti-flannel kind of player.
Yeah.
I can't stand that mofo.
Yeah,
He was a dog, though. Don't deny
He's
that.
not a dog.
You know what's crazy? And JB, you were there. You went to the game, right?
No, so Maz went to the game, and he was going to invite me, but I had to do heavies that night. So he sent me a picture of what the arena looked like, and it was...
Is it morning slack, Jeff?
It was bare.
Here it is.
It was bare, kind of embarrassing.
Maz sent and now this was, okay, and I'm not trying to defend the Pistons, but I'm just being honest here. They showed the arena on, because I was watching it a different way. I won't tell you. Okay.
What does that even mean?
Just...
Yeah, what does that mean?
Found a stream.
Oh, shout out Streamies.
Yeah, I found a stream, and it was the no legal stuff. All right, wink, wink. But it showed the arena itself, and it looked a little more packed in this photo. But this is still bad. This is bad.
They probably ushered all the fans down lower and then put like the black curtain at the top to make it seem filled.
Yeah, and on TV they just
on TV it looks like a full arena.
And it was kind of funny and ironic too, because Tracy Walker was there, and he's probably looking around like, oh yeah.
Yeah, remember before the season, all the Lions players and coaches were like, yeah, we're going to pack that bitch up. We're going to make sure it feels just like Lions games and Red Wings games. And nope. And they don't deserve it, though. Like,
no,
it's not any of the Red Wings or Lions players' fault. It's the Pistons players' fault and coaches. And most importantly, ownership.
Detroit Dabber 313 says, Jeff, literally none of that stream talk was necessary. Just say you watched it. Well, I wanted to make it clear how, because the way the stream was set up is it's the point of view of the Jumbotron. Does that make sense? Like
what do you mean?
When the Jumbotron would go around and show different people in the crowd, I would be seeing that. Even though, like, if you watch it on Bally Sports, you're just watching the game, and then it goes to commercial. You know what I'm saying? So I got to see the crowd. Usually the TV wouldn't show it.
Yeah. It doesn't show commercials, so you just see the whole area.
Yes, that's why I brought it up. So I got to see the crowd, and it was a little better, but it's bad. Even for a Lakers game. You got LeBron coming to town, and people want to show up and watch the game. Tracy Walker was there, like I said. Michigan was there. Some Michigan players were there.
Let's go.
Just how fitting that they showed up to a game that was deserted. But regardless, thanks, Maz, for that photo. Did Maz, you went by himself? He just went over there and watched the game?
Did.
I think, yeah, he probably did. You know he likes to go to games by himself just to relax. That's how he relaxes.
Man, I love Maz, dude. Yep. It's just a legend. All right, there's other news, though, I want to bring up, too, for the Lions, at least. Tim Twentyman tweeted out, good to see guard Jonah Jackson back at open portion of Lions practice today. All five starters up front along the O-line at practice Wednesday. Also a highlight of the open period today was watching QB Jared Goff go through the ball security drills with the running back, wide receivers, and tight ends. And Lucas, do you have that one?
Which one do you want?
I'll send it to you. Because this one, and again, this isn't to poke fun at Jared Goff or anything, but it's just a review kind of, and I just sent it. You're gonna get it in a second, all right? And it's basically Jared and the other quarterbacks participating with the rest of the Lions players with ball security drills, and I think it was kind of funny because the media was asking Jared about it, and they were like, trying to get him to. They're like, why are you? It's weird. You guys are like practicing ball security drills, and he's just like answering it very quarterback, just like a quarterback. He's like, well, yeah, I mean, we turn the ball over, so we have to do it. They probably wanted him to be like, yeah, I've been fumbling crazy. Like, we need to practice this. But they were trying to bait him a little bit. But here's the drill itself. You got it?
Give me like literally 5 more seconds.
Okay.
That'll be good to go.
Here's the drill itself. I believe this is per. I want to make sure I give credit. Yep, Dave Burkett. He got this footage. We'll play a lot of Broder's footage too with Hendon coming up at next segment. But here's the ball security drill. All the guys working on, including Jared Goff. It's just funny.
Jared Goff was the last one for everybody that didn't know.
Damn it, man. Come on.
I think you know who Jared was watching that
before
video.
him? Was it Adrian Martinez or something?
I think that was David Blau. I think he's on the practice squad. I think it was David Blau.
Better than Tim Boyle.
Yeah, he is.
Hill.
He is. Yeah. No, you don't have to die. I'm with you. We'll die together. We'll all die together. He's better than Tim Boyle. But yeah, Jared Goff. You know what? He ain't mobile. We know that. You don't got the feet like other quarterbacks do. But hey, ball security drills. That's a must-do right now for this team.
Oh, yeah.
Can't lie about that one.
That's the thing. Jared Goff probably knows as much as anybody that after the performance he had against the Green Bay Packers, particularly with his fumbling, that you're going to have to go through these ball security drills. Because I'm not saying they would have, but if Jared Goff would have just held onto the football, maybe they win that game. I mean, one of those fumbles directly led to six points the other way via a Jonathan Owens fumble return. So those are the type of things that you're going to have to do. And yes, Jared Goff did look very, very clumsy in that drill, but nobody has ever mistaken him for Vanilla Vic or anything like that. He is probably less mobile than Denver Broncos Peyton Manning. He's probably less mobile than later years Eli Manning, but as long as he can get back on the field and spin it, at least for the rest of the year, he's our quarterback for now. And like I said, even with all this lack of mobility, he's done a lot of good things in Detroit so far. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think any quarterback, Lucas, and you can call me. You throw a flag on this one if I'm wrong. Okay. I think any quarterback, if you're not mobile and you have no mobility, you better have an elite arm.
Yeah, so you better have a fucking cannon.
You better have an elite arm.
This isn't 1970 anymore, okay? You need to have it. You got to have one of two things. To just point an elite arm or an ability to extend and create plays.
Yep.
You tell me which one Jared Goff has.
And again, I see. Now we're getting to the.
I'm just saying. Hey, and I'm a golf guy.
Heavyweights got us.
They did, but it was just more of the thing. Is just like you got to face reality at some point.
Yeah.
At some point.
And that's the thing. I mean, even a guy like Public Enemy says, Jeff, I wonder how Tom Brady will look in the same drill. Well, that's Tom freaking Brady. So he could trip all he wants.
He'll fall back on those 6 rings.
Yeah, he'll fall. Yeah, like he'll be all right. So that's how I feel about quarterbacks. If you're not mobile, Sam, you better have Aaron Rodgers at least arm talent, or at least close to that. Now, if you can move, you could get away with not having the best arm because again, you're mobile. You can extend plays, like Lucas said. That's how I look at quarterbacks, at least.
Sure, and like we all know with Jared Goff, he is not mobile in the slightest bit. I would actually probably take Indianapolis Colts Matt Ryan's mobility over Jared Goff's. I'm not saying that Jared Goff's a bad quarterback.
Definitely not the quarterback, like, Matt Ryan,
obviously, but like I said before, we can kind of. I think it's a little bit mean to like laugh at a man stumbling during a drill like that. I'll tell you what, if you got hurt on that play, we would all be gasping for air right now, being like, "What the hell is he doing?" But at the same time, he's just in the pocket. He's just kind of a tough watch sometimes. I'll just say that. A very tough watch.
Yeah, and people people get frustrated. The pocket awareness, like that's something that I think lately at least, and again, Jared Goff is accurate. I'll give him that. Mm-hmm. He's an accurate quarterback, so he does get away with not being mobile. And you have an O-line like they have protecting him. It works. But again, that's how I feel about it. But yes, Hendon Hooker is officially back at practice. In a couple of minutes here, I'm going to play some footage that Broder got. He was able to ask him a couple questions, and there's some drills that Hendon Hooker was participating in, and we'll play those because it is exciting. I mean, Hendon, he's an interesting storyline. He is, because he's got a ton of potential. He's got a ton of talent. And with how the NFL is moving right now,
Perfect fit.
Now, whether he's the franchise or not, you'll find that out. But it is intriguing. It really is. Let's go to break here. When we come back, we'll get into the Hendon Hooker discussion, because again, we got some footage to play for you guys. And then at 8:30, John Macaron will be joining the show to preview the Lions taking on the Saints. 8:45, we'll talk about Shaq Leonard, because it seems like he's visiting everybody in the NFC but the Lions. So we'll talk about that again. Could the Detroit Lions, or should they, be more aggressive in free agency for potentially a playoff run? We'll have that discussion. 9 o'clock, I got 3 keys to victory. All right? 3 keys to victory. Or 2 keys, rather, that I want to go through at 9 o'clock, and I want your guys' thoughts on it. Some mismatch, statistics I got for how the Lions could take advantage of the Saints. We'll go through that at 9 o'clock. At 9:16, Penei Sewell versus Trent Williams. You made a graphic, man, and we got to go through that, because it is impressive what Penei's doing compared to a Hall of Fame left tackle in Trent Williams. But let's go to break here. I'll tell you about our friends over at Hamlin Pub really quickly. Hamlin Pub. Have you ever wanted to be at a bar where you're known as a regular? Well, we have just the place for you. It's Hamlin Pub. Head to one of their 7 locations and experience where everyone is a regular. Whether you're enjoying half-off pizza, game day specials, Hamlin Pub is the place. Find a location today and experience your new favorite pub for all things sports.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Join Woodward Sports and Long Drink live every home game for the official Lions VIP tailgate party. It's at Eastern Market in Shed number 5, and it is always a bash. Starting at 9:30 a.m. until game time. The official Lions tailgate is back and better than ever. How would you like to pregame with Woodward Sports and be treated like a VIP? Food, beverages, and entertainment all included. Get your tickets online today at bullseyeeventgroup.com or win some from Woodward Sports today. Just subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on IG, and direct message Lions VIP.
I think just calming my nerves. I'm so excited. Calm down. Calm down. You've done this before, so that's the biggest thing.
When they told you it was going to be today, like, how did you sleep? What was going through your head?
I couldn't sleep. I was too excited. But, just trying to calm myself down. Everybody around me was very excited. So I was just trying to be the calming piece. It's very valuable because before I'm really just going out there blind, just trying to go off of either what I see or what I know from installs. But it's different when you're out there actually moving around and you have actual receivers, not just a standing target. So it's fun just to get out there and run through the plays and communicate with the guys and just ask them what they're seeing on the field.
Did you feel you had rust to shake off today?
It's been a year since I put on shoulder pads. So throwing with my shoulder pads, I have to get accustomed to again.
You couldn't throw with them in preseason.
No, it was against the rules. Yeah, just want to get better. Yeah, every day 1%. Continue to stay in my playbook. Continue to ask questions and get better. Just being a competitor. Yeah, you want to get out there and compete and have fun. Do what you do. You do what you love doing. Just play football. So it's tough.
You have it, Hendon Hooker, the potential maybe future quarterback of the Detroit Lions. Who knows? But a third-round selection this year. And Wavy says, Hendon sounds like JB. LOL. JB, care to comment on that?
All I can say is I was here during practice, so I don't know who this other JB person is.
Yeah, you guys are about the same height, I would say. About
I'm pretty
6'4".
sure he's taller than that. Yeah.
Hey, Jay,
25.
I'm trying to stick up for maybe there's ladies listening. JB 6'4", he's jacked, all that stuff. Trying to gas him up. But Hendon Hooker, he's a specimen. But Hendon Hooker, man, it's exciting, and you could just tell he's just a good dude. He's a good dude, and of course he wants to succeed in the NFL. He mentioned in talking to the media that he's excited to get back to compete against this defense to show that he belongs in the NFL. And there's a lot of things to like about a guy like Hendon Hooker, right? The mobility, the arm talent, all that stuff. He mentioned how he has to get used to not being in shotgun all the time. That was what they did a lot at Tennessee. There is a learning curve. That's why I think for anybody in their right mind that thinks there is even a chance, if Jared were to, and hopefully he does not at all this season, go down, that Hendon's going to step in, you are wrong. He's not doing that. It'll be Teddy Bridgewater. Hendon is not going to play at all this year, and he should not. The only time you will see Hendon Hooker, in my eyes, would be next preseason. That's it. Yeah. I don't see a scenario, Sam, they throw him out there. Let's say at the end of the year, I'm just saying this just to say it hypothetically, they rest players. No, he's not going out there. Let's say Jared goes down. No, he's not going out there. But it is nice to see him back. Finally being able to practice with other people and put on shoulder pads.
Oh, it most certainly is. And I think whether fair or not, there are some people, including myself to some extent, who have watched the games that Jared Goff has played, where I would say, without a shadow of a doubt, 3 of the last 5 have been pretty bad in a lot of ways, besides for the last 4 minutes of the Bears game. And even, as I said before, that Raiders game, he threw a pick 6, and that offense struggled at times, especially in the red zone, to get touchdowns instead of field goals. You look at Hendon Hooker, there obviously are going to be concerns. Third-round quarterbacks, that's something that the success rate isn't very high. I would just say that there have been some exceptions, like Russell Wilson, for example, or even Dak Prescott in the 4th round, guys like Tom Brady, Matt Hasselbeck, who are in later rounds. And I understand those are anomalies, but still, I'm not ready to just say Brad Holmes wasted a draft pick or anything like that. And that's the thing. Hendon Hooker, if he weren't hurt, he probably would have been drafted higher, and he does seem to have some of the traits that Jared Goff does not have. I mentioned Jared Goff has basically no mobility. If you collapse the pocket on him, he is basically going down. He can't really extend plays, which you saw very, very often. You saw it in the Packer game, and you definitely saw it in the Baltimore Ravens game. A guy like Hendon Hooker, if he can develop, if he can be in this offense for this year and then this offseason and the next year, maybe you could see a guy like him taking over and being able to be the future starter of this team. Because when it also comes to Hendon Hooker, as much as we don't always want to talk about it, this is reality. Jared Goff is under contract for 1 more year. And Jared Goff is probably going to ask for an extension that is at the absolute minimum, $42 to $45 million a year. And Hendon Hooker would be on a rookie contract. And with Hendon Hooker, you already see some of the foundational pieces around the Detroit Lions. And I'm not saying that Hendon Hooker is the quarterback of the future or anything like that for sure, but you got guys like Panay, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Aiden Hutchinson, who seem that they're going to be mainstays and stars on this team for many, many years to come. And they're under their rookie contract for now, but not for long. You want to have a guy in theory that you can surround them with more talent and not have a quarterback take up that much of their salary cap unless they are the elite of the elite. And Jared Goff is not quite that.
I would go as far as to say, Sam, that the Detroit Lions offensively are one of the better situations for any rookie quarterback or any quarterback, period. I think what Jared Goff has around him, I'm not going to say it's the 49ers. I think that's the best for any quarterback. Sure. Brock Purdy's in that system, and he's playing really well, but that's the best situation. You could go with other teams, the Eagles, with that offensive line. I think the Lions are up there in situations. You're what you come into, the best backfield duo in the NFL. Arguably the best offensive line, a tight end who's already top 3 at his position his rookie year statistically, and then you have a wide receiver 1 who's a top 7, top 8 wide receiver in the NFL right now. You have other guys, pieces around him. Jameson, you have so many options there, and you have Ben Johnson as your OC, who's a quarterback guru. So. And we'll see how long he stays, to be honest with you. But regardless, it is one of the better situations for anybody to come in and play in. So for Hendon Hooker, whether he's good or not, we'll find that out. The coaches will find that out. Although we're high on him and we like Hendon Hooker a lot. And again, I think he's a little bit of an exception for being a 3rd-round pick because I think if he wasn't injured, There's a chance he could have went in the first round. I mean, Will Levis went at the top of the second, and Will Levis didn't really show much in college. But he's panning out in the NFL. But Hendon has a better resume in college, and he went in the third round. So the age thing is real, being 25. I get all that. He'll be 26, I think, in January. I have to double-check that. But he'll be 26 next season. I do believe there's a lot of potential with Hendon Hooker, with what his arm talent. I find myself probably once a week at least watching Tennessee highlights his final year. Just watching Hendon Hooker, man. He's got a live arm. He does, and he's mobile. He's got all those things you check off when you talk about a quarterback. Leadership. He's a good dude. He doesn't have a big ego. He's competitive though, and that's what I like about Hendon Hooker. But JB, what do you think about this whole thing with Hendon Hooker?
Man, I am just happy to see. Look, Lucas.
He's hyped up too.
Sorry, fellas, nature called.
Lucas knows too, but I'm happy to see Hendon Hooker at least get out there to practice a little bit. And I understand that we're not trying to replace golf right now, but we like to see that he's out there at least trying, at least cooking up something that we could see potentially in the future.
Yep.
You still got golf for another year. And I understand the nature of the beast, and I know this is a business. I understand the contract. You don't want to sit here and just give him all this money and then he not produce. But I say you sit here, you just ride out what you have in Jared Goff, and then, come to a contract, talks at the end of the season. See where we're at. Because if you have to pay him more, then you just have to pay him more. I think he can live with that. But I don't think there is a way that we can just sit here and just be like, oh, Hendon Hooker's our future right now. Let's just absolutely get rid of Goff. Don't do that.
And that's where comments like this, I think, are a little misinformed. Silent Service says, this freaking show is always trying to replace Goff. WTF. Sam, I want to ask you this, because you've done this show. I mean, we've done this for a while now. When have we tried to replace Goff, besides now bringing up Hendon Hooker and talking about his potential? Did we ever bring up a free agent quarterback or who we should trade for? Did we ever do that?
No, we don't bring up replacing Goff. It's just the reality is that Jared Goff right now, the key word is right now, is on a friendly contract. But it's not going to be that way forever. And furthermore, Jared Goff is on a friendly contract right now, and guys like Panay, Aiden Hutchinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and even guys like Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Branch, who I think have proven to be like all rookie level players, are all on rookie contracts, and Jared Goff is on a team friendly deal, but not forever, because I'll tell you what, Jared Goff, I do think that he is going to right the ship to some extent to end the year. I don't think he's going to have a 2-game stretch where he's going to turn the ball over 6 times again. He's going to put up numbers to end the year, and he'll probably put up numbers next year. But does that mean that you want to sign him to a $45 or $50 million a year extension? And I didn't even really mention in my opening monologue that
$50 million?
No, thank you. That is served for the elite of the elite. And Jared Goff, there is no circumstance where I think he's a $50 million quarterback. But with Hendon Hooker, I didn't even talk about my opening monologue about his arm talent. I mean, right now, you could make a good argument that he's got a higher ceiling. This offense has a higher ceiling than even it has with Jared Goff, especially considering, at least for the first couple of years, if they let Jared Goff walk after his contract is up, you'd have 2 years of him on a rookie deal with the ability to pay some of the guys like Panay and Amon-Ra and Aiden, and then add other pieces. We shall see. I mean, it's not a guarantee or anything like that, but when I mentioned other later round picks that have panned out, as of right now, I'm not saying that it's going to happen like this. Even a guy like Brock Purdy has been a rousing success at this point, and nobody would argue that and I think that Hendon Hooker is more talented than Brock Purdy. It's a lot of hypotheticals,
yes,
but still.
A lot of hypotheticals, and that's why I want people to understand here. Some of these comments, Galloping Lake, this show has been trying to get rid of Goff since he came to Detroit. That's incorrect, except for the first half of the season. Then it was extend Goff. Now, and by the way, you can't group shows together, right? There's other shows that have always wanted to replace Goff, and then there's guys like us who have been honest about Goff. I've been consistent about Goff. He's a guy you can win playoff games with. He's a guy that you can win your division with. And I've mentioned that a bunch of times. I even made the argument that last year he was the second best quarterback in the NFC.
He was.
Like, I'm giving this man praise, but apparently I want him replaced. You know what I do want? If a better option presents itself, I'm taking it. I am. For cheaper. That's how I feel. That has nothing to do about hating Goff. And that's the thing, Lucas. Apparently, if you aren't on board with paying this man $45-50, you hate Goff. For me, it's if you have a chance to upgrade, I'm interested. I like the Lions.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
And and I've said it once, I said it twice, I'll say it 3 times. You look around the teams in the NFC. If you want to keep and hold Jared Goff to that elite quarterback money, that is okay. If that's what you want to do, that's okay. At the end of the day right now, nothing's in concrete. It's all based on opinion. But for me, when I look at it, I look at the 49ers. Elite team with a very solid quarterback behind him to make that quarterback look damn near elite. The Cowboys, elite team with a solid quarterback that Dak Prescott can, at times, can look borderline elite if he's playing at home against a bad team. And then you go to the Philadelphia Eagles. Elite team, elite roster. With Jalen Hurts, when he first came in the league, he was a solid quarterback, but now they developed him into an elite quarterback. If you put Goff and you pay him more than these guys, and then you can't supply him with the elite weapons around him to stop the elite weapons around Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts, and Dak Prescott,
you're in trouble.
Now you're relying on Jared Goff to go in there and beat those guys in big games, not single-handedly, but a lot of the weight is on his shoulders. In my opinion, the best thing for the Detroit Lions to do long-term, ride out Goff's contract. While you're doing that, build pieces around him, take smart picks in the draft, try to sign a big name or two in free agency on the defensive side of the ball. And then if you can see that he is clearly not going to take you to the Super Bowl with all these pieces, you trade Goff, you put in Hooker, and then when you get those assets for Goff, well, now you have a full team to build around Hendon Hooker. And guess what? If he does not work, you have an elite team that you can start plugging quarterbacks into. And you can say that's crazy, but look at the 49ers. Look at Philly. They all have elite rosters where even if you have like a meh quarterback, which I'm sorry, Jared Goff, the way he's been playing last month of the season, has been playing like slightly above a meh quarterback, and they're still winning games. So think what happens if you have a quarterback with true elite potential that can develop within that system. I think that's the best way to do it because you're building it organically for a long time.
Yeah, and you look at the top of the NFC, man.
Again, my opinion.
No, and I agree. And I think you look at the top of the NFC, Sam. I mean, you got Dak Prescott, who I like to crap on, but the guy's mobile. Mm-hmm. That's what the NFC is. Brock Purdy, he can be mobile. He can evade a pass rush and make plays, extend plays. Jalen Hurts, don't have to go to him. You know what he is.
Yep.
So the thing about Jared is, I'm just curious what he asks for. That's all. If he wants 45, 50, no way, no how, to quote Rob Parker. No way, no how. You know why? Because, again, if I'm being honest about Goff, and you guys will know this, if you've watched Goff and you've paid attention to his career, you know exactly what he is. He's a guy that, you need, and a lot of quarterbacks need this, but the elite can overcome. That's what it's always been. They'll give you a chance just simply because they're that good. For Jared, if this offense, we just saw this last week, the offensive line had a bad game, Goff fumbles 3 times. Not saying it's going to happen every week, but guess what? You're going to face adversity in this league, man. The offensive line can't be perfect every single week. I'm just curious, number one, what he's asking for, because you want to re-sign the rest of these guys. Amon-Ra St. Brown deserves a big deal. He does. Penei Sewell deserves a big deal. All these guys coming down the pipeline. I want to extend C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I want him a part of this future. There's other guys I want to extend. Keep Jonah Jackson, I would love to keep. And that's where it gets tough for me. If Brad Holmes, because by the way, Brad drafted him. So before you think we hate Jared Goff, why would Brad draft a guy like that in the 3rd round? You found Kirby Joseph in the 3rd round, Sam Flannel.
He did.
He's a key piece of this defense. Why wouldn't you just take another defensive player in the 3rd round? Isn't that weird? Why would Brad Holmes take a quarterback with so much upside?
Well, and he also found...
That's odd. Isn't that odd? He must see something we see, too.
It's almost like he does everything for a reason.
That's odd, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. And we've seen Brad Holmes a lot, like some of his later round picks, even a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown, who was drafted even in the 4th round, become one of the biggest stars on this team. So Brad Holmes isn't just drafting someone to waste a draft pick or anything like that, because he's proven to be competent. And actually, Chuck Brewer says something, this goes a little bit far back, that I think is very rational right now. Because nobody is saying, get rid of Jared Goff right now. Hendon Hooker, it's Hendon Hooker season. This is what Chuck Brewer said. Hooker is practicing. Now Brad and Dan can start deciding on the future of the quarterback position. We'll trust them. And I think at this point, that's kind of what you need to do, because is there a possibility that Hendon Hooker isn't the guy? Of course there is. He's a 3rd round pick who's a rookie and is in his rookie contract. And Jared Goff, as much as his stock with, I think, us at the network is about as low as it's been since 2021 right now, he's still done a lot of good things in Detroit. But I'll keep going back to this. The one thing that could make me really, really mad, except if maybe he goes on like a phenomenal stretch and leads the Lions to a couple of playoff wins, and he's the primary reason for it. Other than that, the one thing that could make me really, really mad is if he gets a long-term deal worth $50 million a year. Then I'd be like, what are we doing?
Yeah, we could sit here and make fun of these guys for getting paid that much money when they don't deserve it, but then at the same time be like, yeah, I'm cool with paying Jared $50 million. Like, guys, it's about being realistic. It's not just because you're not willing to pay Jared $50 million does not mean you hate the guy. No. That's what frustrates me about this stuff, man. Like, just because, hey, you're not on board with paying him $50 million per year or 45-ish, whatever the number is, well, then you must hate Goff. No, I've said multiple times, Lucas, there's half the league that would take off. But there's a point in time where you're going to get to for the Lions where you just reach a ceiling.
You want to be better than half the league at the quarterback position.
Yes, you want to be. You want. This league is about continuing to try and get better, and we'll see how Goff continues to play. That's all. That the worst case scenario, Goff's your future. You have Hendon as a backup. That's at best case scenario. If Jared Goff plays really well to end the season, he's balling. You can't even tell a difference. You're like, oh well, we'll keep him. And if he plays bad, well, you got an option. That's all. It's a win-win. Brad's very smart. I'm not going to say Brad hates Jared. I won't go that far, like other people would assume because he drafted Hendon. I'm not going to say he hates Jared. I think it's a smart business. It's very savvy from Brad Holmes. Let's go to break, and then we'll talk to John McAroon, of course. The doc. We'll ask him some questions here, man. I can't wait. John's the man. All right, let's go to break. But first, we got to hear about our friends from Premier Pet.
Of course. When it comes to your pet, don't settle. I don't settle when it comes to my golden retriever Jake and my orange cat Milo. They get all of the best toys, treats, and food from Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best, like I give my pet the best. Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food, lowest prices, and curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best. Just visit their website at premierpetsupply.com.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Hey, how would you like to win a $100K Vegas getaway? Take your friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Centron Energy Drink It and Live It sweepstakes. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter for your chance to win. Register at drinkcentron.com/Vegas and buy Centron at your local Meijer store. It's Centron, the healthier energy drink with great taste. Look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself. Once again, that website, drinkcentron.com/Vegas.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. It is Thursdays with the Doc, John McAroon, publisher, All Lions, and host of the Detroit Sports Podcast. My good friend, our good friend of the show. We appreciate you joining, John. How you doing today? How you feeling?
Man, great morning. Looking forward to talking football. Lucas, I hear you're going to the land of the Yayo. Do us a favor. Take Troy Weaver with you. Take him with you, man. Take him with you. It's a disaster for the Pistons. Let's talk about something more positive with the Lions.
Yeah, well, I'll give you a good one, John, to start off. Hendon Hooker, he's officially back, and you guys had a chance to talk to him. It's funny because we're excited about Hendon Hooker. Some would say we hate Jared Goff, but I want your thoughts on it. Just him finally getting a chance to suit up, get shoulder pads on, go against this defense, finally get tested against NFL players. Your thoughts on him officially getting able to do all that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody was intrigued to kind of know how Hendon Hooker has been developing. Obviously, a key, when you look at one of the key positions in all of football, it's the quarterback position, and it's always hotly debated. People always would say that the most talked about position in sports is the backup goalie for the the Redwings and the backup quarterback for the Lions. And I looked, Brad Holmes wanted to develop a young quarterback, and now we get an opportunity to get him out on the football field. When you're on the NFI list, you don't have an opportunity to practice against NFL caliber opponents. So for Hendon Hooker, this can only expedite his development with the Lions, and it can only be a good thing. I look at Hendon Hooker and the kind of caliber player that he is. I think he brings an element that this Lions offense really would benefit from if he could play out on the field, and that's the ability to extend plays. You saw the challenges that Jared Goff had when he struggled against the Packers. When plays go off script, he's just a disaster. Things have to be exactly perfect. Now, Jared Goff is a stellar quarterback, but Hendon Hooker, I think, brings an element to the game that a lot of teams really covet, and that's the ability to scramble and extend plays. So now he starts his opportunity, and it'll be interesting to see how he moves forward. But you're absolutely right, Jeff. He's not going to play NFL football in a real live game this year.
No, absolutely not. And John, I want to piggyback off of that a little bit, because it seems like, especially in the last couple of weeks, the sentiment surrounding Jared Goff amongst Lions fans has went from being happy with him to it's dropped to quite a level that I haven't seen in a while, including from myself. I've been very unhappy with Goff the last couple of weeks, except for the final 4 minutes of the Bears game, and even for the last 5 games to some extent, if you include the pick 6 against the Raiders and leading the offense to 6 points against the Ravens. Is it fair of us, or are we? Is there a validity to our concerns when it comes to Jared Goff and maybe him not being the guy long term?
Look, obviously we're all going to point to how he does in the postseason, but you got to remember, 8-3. This is the captain of this defense. It was built around him. So I look at the player that he is, and does he have kind of a ceiling? Yes. But I look at the caliber that he is in regards to his relationship with Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously the development of Sam Laporta. Guys, we can't discount what Jared Goff brings to the table. This is a legit NFL quarterback, but obviously he's limited. And I think, opponents can figure out how to get him rattled by pressuring him. But I do think that now it's been targeted. I can't wait to see how Goff performs against the Saints, who are tied for 4th with 20 takeaways, 14 interceptions. So I look at it like, now you've identified an issue, obviously, with ball security. Let's see how he performs the rest of the season. But we can't discount the skills that he does possess. A savvy veteran, and I do think that his working relationship with Ben Johnson has allowed this offense to succeed. And you can't discount the things that he does well. Yeah, he is limited. He's never going to be Lamar Jackson, but he does have the skills needed to win a lot of regular season games.
And John, I want to bring this up later, but a couple of things that I think the Lions need to key in on, at least for the New Orleans Saints. And by the way, man, the Saints defense, even with the guys they have currently out, you talk about takeaways, John, they're tied for 4th in takeaways. So we talk about this, how the Lions need to win the turnover battle. It's been something they've struggled with. I mean, you talk about some games this year. They've won the Panthers game. They forced 3 turnovers, but there's been games where they've won losing the turnover battle. I mean, they beat the Raiders. They turned the ball over 3 times. They beat the Bears. They turned the ball over 4 times. And then you got 2 teams that will get you if you turn the ball over. The Seahawks, they lost that game. And then the Packers, they just lost that game. So where are you at? I know the importance of taking care of the football, but the Saints defense on the road, this is another chance. But the Lions, man, they're going to get tested this week, I think, John, especially defensively.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see, I think that obviously this is a game that Dan Campbell and the coaching staff is gearing up for, having been part of that staff in the past. But I look at it like you got a Saints team that's desperate, that obviously wants to rebound. Terrible performance against the Falcons. I look at it like you got to play to your strengths. The Lions have to run the football. They have to get back to their dynamic duo of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. And I think a key that you guys obviously are keening in on is you want to play with the lead. I think if you have an opportunity to get out in front, then that kind of maybe puts the pressure on Derek Carr and the Saints. Yeah, they do have obviously a stout defense that can force takeaways, but they're abysmal against the run. And so I think the offensive line for the Lions, after a really shitty performance against the Packers, I think hopefully Jonah Jackson gets back out there. that really is key for the Lions. I do think the Lions offense is going to play at a very successful rate. The issue I would see is, can the Lions defense step up and make some plays?
Yeah, that's big time. Lucas, and before I give it to you, John's spot on, by the way. Lions rushing offense, they're 6th in the NFL right now, 136.9 yards per game. Saints run defense, they're 23rd right now in the NFL. It's a mismatch. Credit to John.
Take that, especially with Jared Goff struggling. But you know what else might help Jared Goff struggle? He's back. TK85, John. He is back. When you hear this news, tell me why Tom Kennedy is about to save the Detroit Lions season, John. Let us know.
Playmaker.
Playmaker, huh? The most popular guy amongst Lions Twitter. Man, it is crazy. It is really interesting to look at if you just step back for a second. You know, yesterday we write about Hendon Hooker, writing about Jared Goff, things like that. One of the popular stories that comes out is TK85 signing with the practice squad. And you all want to talk about Tom Kennedy? Let's talk about Tom Kennedy. The single greatest bench warmer in the history of the Lions organization. I think that, for the practice squad, he deserves practice squad MVP. He sits there at his locker quietly. Nobody talks to him. He can handle his business. TK85, a real popular guy, huh? Look, in the end, it's unfortunate for Dylan Drummond. His opportunity comes to an end. But you look at it for Kennedy, he's just the guy that, look, in the end, you can see why the Lions would like to have him around. Reliable, hardworking, kind of that Mr. try-hard guy. Maybe kind of like you, Lucas, kind of that guy that maybe is a little underrated. But if given an opportunity, maybe down in Florida or something,
he takes the most of it.
Makes the most of his opportunities. So, look, guys, in the end, Tom Kennedy ain't seeing the field. When you look at it, we got more important things to talk about. But if you want to give TK his shine, look, I'll say this. I think that probably more people need to talk to him. He's a little bit difficult to talk to at times, but I'll say this. For the things that he does, he can maximize his ability by hopefully staying healthy and developing here in this offense.
Wait a minute, we need to talk about things other than Tom Kennedy. You would have thought by watching Big D Energy or some of the other shows or by Lions Twitter, he would have been this superstar receiver coming back. The discourse surrounding Tom Kennedy is probably my least favorite thing in the entire world. He's like, it's like right up there with like the devil himself. Awful. But anywho, let's talk about something that actually matters in the Saints-Lions matchup. So this Lions defense has had some struggles, and I'm not a big fan of what Derek Carr has been doing this year, but just on Thanksgiving, Jordan Love torched them, and Justin Fields had one of his better games this season against the Bears as well, particularly running. So even though Derek Carr has not had a particularly good year and hasn't elevated the quarterback position and with the Saints as much as I thought he would, is there anything that he does or him with this offense does that should scare you as a Lions fan, or should be something that Aaron Glenn keys in on?
Well, I look at it, and I think the thing that we're all talking about is, can the Lions pressure Derek Carr? You look at Aiden Hutchinson's number, and I know you guys have been talking about it, very high pressure rate, but not enough sacks. Just like any, if you give Derek, he'll pick you apart. So I'm concerned regarding the defensive line. I want to see them really step up. The likes of Aleem McNeil, Aiden Hutchinson, John Kaminsky. The other guys have to step up because the Saints are going to definitely do what they can to limit Aiden Hutchinson. I'm just concerned because the defensive line just hasn't been pressuring the quarterback. Now, you look at it, a big concern, it probably is looking like Alex Anzalone's not going to play for the Lions linebacking core, so Malcolm Rodriguez and Jack Campbell have to step up. Derek Barnes will be the quarterback of that defense. So I'm hearing potentially that Trevor Nowatzki could be activated, is on the active roster, but has been inactive the past couple weeks. He probably will have a special teams role. But I would look at it, and I want to see how Malcolm Rodriguez flies to the football. Can Jack Campbell obviously make plays and not miss as many tackles, not get taken out of plays? So obviously the defense is going to have to cover and play better all around the board. I think the defensive performance definitely needs to step up, and obviously I think the limit with Derek Carr is the explosive plays. You don't want him zinging the football and getting into rhythm early. And I think Dan Campbell's seeing it. He said our coverage hasn't been as good as it needs to be, so I'm looking for a bounce back from Cam Sutton and Jerry Jacobs this week.
Yeah, and the other thing, John, too, is the Lions, and again, over the last 21 games, they're 16-5. They haven't lost 2 straight, I believe, and Dan Miller mentioned this on E&E yesterday, but they haven't lost 2 straight since, like, last year. How big of a game is this? I'm not going to go as far as to say it's like a must-win, but where are you at with the importance of this game? And kind of, I also want your definition of what do you need to see from the Lions this year in the end result for it to be a successful season? Like, what is John Macaroon's expectations, and also how big of a game is it this week to kind of get the fans, keep them bought in from them not being called pretenders or frauds or anything like that?
Yeah, Dan Campbell has said it since day one this year. They want to see improvement steadily, and they want to play their best brand of football in December. So I look at it as an opportunity to go out there and execute level. I want to see this football team really step up and start to look like the team that was winning games. And I think that when you look at the Lions, I think that what people are concerned about is the last stretch of games. Have they been exposed? And I do think that obviously coaching and football is a game of chess. Now everyone knows kind of how to potentially limit Jared Goff and stifle the offense. Can the Lions, can Dan Campbell continue the development of this offense and get the defense just where it needs to be to get some takeaways? This game's important. I think you obviously want to play well. You don't want to be sloppy. You don't want to have all these turnovers. You want to see Goff get back to distributing the football and having some explosive plays. Look, guys, even if they end up losing the game, the following week you play the Bears. So you have an opportunity to get back and get right if you don't end up winning this game. But for people, I think they want to see a football team trending in the right direction.
Right.
See the Cowboys and how they played on Thanksgiving. They look like a team to be with. You want to start to see that from Lions, and that's what I'm looking for. For me this year, based on the potential that you see out there, I think the Lions need to win the division. They need to host a home playoff game and give these fans a home playoff victory, something to build hope on for next year. I'm targeting next year as the big year for the Lions with the ultimate goals. But this year, I think success is a home playoff game and a potential and play well in front of the home fans to get the W in advance.
Yeah, we're in lockstep, John, about next year. I think we'd all agree there. I think next year's the year they'll start trying to, take a swing and try and get a Shaq Leonard and try and get a Chase Young, these type of moves. But I'll ask you, and this is something the chat was talking about too, and I've been kind of wondering this as well. I don't know if you have any insight on it. The Isaiah Buggs situation. Like, what's going on with that? Why has he not been playing? Speaking of Tom Kennedy, another Lions legend, Bohanna, that we've given a lot of love to. But what's going on with Buggs? Why isn't he out there?
Yeah, you look at it, and it is kind of a little bit of a head scratcher. When he was out there, it seemed like provided that spark, provided that defensive line needed. Look, I just think that maybe there's some issues going on behind the scenes that maybe the coaching staff feels like, okay, we're going to move in a different direction. I just think that the Lions, they like all-in players. They like players that are die-hard guys in the offseason, die-hard guys during the season, and Buggs dealing with some injuries, some medical illnesses, and you look at it and you say, sometimes players end up in a coaching staff's doghouse. Potentially speaking, there may be some issues that are going on that are keeping him away from the football field because, yeah, you would think that when he was there, he kind of was a productive player. So I look at it and I say that, they also have young players they want to also try and develop. But for Buggs, let's see this week if he does have an opportunity. Dan Campbell was asked, are you going to shuffle the roster? And he said maybe, kind of being coy. We'll see this week if he does end up being active. But in the end, it's the defensive line has more issues than just one player. And I look at it like I think that they, as a defense, to really focus in on really executing at a high level and really finding players that are going to, when the time comes, make the plays. And hopefully this week is the week that they can really step it up. And really, I think when you look at it, you probably want to see more from Josh Pascal as well, a draft pick in the second round.
Right.
It's unfortunate. Him and Josh Pascal and Levi Onwuzurike, you're kind of starting to lean toward them not being players that could pan out.
And one last question, because you just mentioned about shuffling up the roster, and you see the reports of a guy like Shaq Leonard visiting the Cowboys, visiting the Eagles. You got corners out there that
Shaquille Griffin just got released yesterday by the Texans.
Yeah, Shaquille Griffin. Like, where are you at? I think we're in lockstep about next year. I think the Lions being more aggressive with this stuff, but is there any chance the Lions bring in a piece to kind of solidify some depth here, especially defensively? Like, what's your take on that, especially if they know they're a playoff team?
thing. And I know it's something we write about. We look at the potential of these players, but here's what Dan Campbell has been saying, and it's pretty clear. They would rather turn to guys that are on their practice squad to bring up because they've been around, they know the signals, they know the calls, and they know they've been he views the practice squad as being very, very important. Doesn't just call it a place where people go to just rot and be on the roster. Dan Campbell values the practice. So you saw a Quentin Bohanna be out there and a guy that can come up and maybe make some plays. You saw him. I thought that he kind of acclimated himself well, a big-bodied individual. So I know we all love free agents. We all love individuals. They did go out and get Bruce Irvin, even though he is, very much on the opposite end of the age spectrum. But I look at it and I say this. Dan Campbell wants to stick in-house with a lot of the players that he wants to put up and call up. So it's just a comfort level. That's just the way it is. So I think the odds of them bringing in one of these higher-end guys is low at this point.
Yeah, that Sam Flannel meme, John's kind of me right now. I think we're all kind of like, hey, when you got guys like Bruce Irvin and Bohanna and Tom Kennedy, John, I don't blame him for going to the practice squad. All right, you can catch John, publisher of All Lions, of course. He does great work, host of the Detroit Sports Podcast. He joins us every Thursday on the show to drop some facts on us. Thank you so much, John, man. Have a great Thursday and good luck this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Lucas, best of luck. We'll leave you with this. Lions are going to win, and Sam Laporta, add him to your fantasy roster this week. Whenever a quarterback needs to get back and get right, you go to your trusted weapons. And this week, Sam Laporta, baby, in the end zone a couple times.
Ooh,
damn, see, John,
a couple times.
See, John, I tried to take a break from FanDuel. I'm going in on Sam Laporta now. Thanks, John. All right.
Shout out, John. Yep. Great doing Thursday with you, man. Definitely be tuned into you outside of here, too, as well. So keep doing your thing.
The doc. The go.
The doc.
The doctor. All right, let's go to break here. We come back. We'll talk a little bit about the Shaq Leonard conversation, some of John's comments, because he did have a lot of interesting stuff there I do want to talk about. But first, I got to tell you about our friends over at Planet Fitness, because Planet Fitness isn't going to judge you, right? Bohanna could go in here. Tom Kennedy could go in here. They're welcome. No one's going to judge him. Even Bruce Irvin, he might be working out at Planet Fitness.
Keep Chase Young out of there, though.
Yeah, he don't need to be in there. Nope. I think he won. He won the gym.
We don't want him in there.
At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You'll get all this for just $10 a month, no commitment, no matter where you are. There's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. We'll see you guys right after the break.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports Crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions!
With money on the line. Featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Fairway Packing. Because for over 60 years, Fairway Packing Co. has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry aged beef. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today, or you can order online at fairwaypacking.com or check out their steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks.
Get your meats.
Get your meats. Man, good stuff from John, dude. I appreciate him. He joins every single Thursday. He always brings interesting stuff to the table, stuff that we didn't even know about.
Stuff that we didn't want to hear.
Stuff that we didn't, yeah, honestly, yeah. Screw you, John. No, I'm just kidding. Stuff that we don't like to hear. Like, Dan Campbell loves the practice squad, which is actually spot on. He does. No, and there's a reason why.
Facts.
There's a reason why he calls them the vet squad. He doesn't call them the practice squad. You know, it's a respect thing, which I get. I do. Like, if you need a piece, I get it, go into the practice squad. But if you need to, like, upgrade a position group, going to the vet squad or the practice squad is not the way to go. Shaq Leonard, speaking of free agency additions, he is visiting, or already has visited, with the Cowboys and the Eagles. That's it. He's expected to make a decision this weekend.
Well,
And he signs with the Dolphins.
Oh, it's funny. It's actually funny. Now, is Shaq Leonard the savior of all these problems? No, but hey, is talent out there. It's a guy who's played a lot of football. He's
elite football.
Yeah, he's a linebacker. Plays what does he play mostly? I guess off ball.
He's definitely off ball.
Off ball linebacker. Yeah. Again, I agree with John saying this. I don't think this year's the year they go all in. I think next year will be a year where they start to bring in guys, like maybe if a Chase Young or somebody of that caliber is available or someone gets released, they'll start bringing those guys in. I don't think this year they look at this year as like hey, we have a chance to make the Super Bowl, so we're going all in. And, of course, they have the checklist of, character, love for the game, all that stuff. They have their Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell checklist, and maybe Shaq Leonard doesn't check off what they like. But guess what? He checks enough for the Eagles and Cowboys.
Well, and that's the thing. And I get it that the Cowboys and the Eagles, I mean, even the Cowboys, even though a lot of you don't respect them, they are at, I would say, maybe different stages than the Lions right now.
They are,
and
to be fair.
And maybe the Lions kind of... And I know this is going to sound negative, but I really believe in what they're building, and I still think they're going to end up having a successful season. Maybe it was all the whole Super Bowl hopes thing was a little bit of a fugazi. I mean, you saw teams that actually were all in, like the Eagles getting Kevin Byard, like the 49ers getting Chase Young and Randy Gregory, for that matter, to build one of the deepest and most talented front sevens I think I've ever seen. Yeah. One of, not especially in the modern era, because even when we talk about Shaq Leonard. Let me just say this about Shaq Leonard before just to get this out of the way. Shaq Leonard, I think, should change his name back to Darius. And here's why I say that. Because the last couple of years, he's been hurt a lot, but he's kind of done the whole what Quentin Nelson has done. Started out their career as like all-time greats in training. It looked like you were going to maybe have... And they both play for the Colts. You were looking like you were maybe going to have Zach Martin and Patrick Willis on your roster, but neither of them have played their best football as of late, including Shaq Leonard, who hasn't had his best season this year and was hurt for most of last year.
It's a back issue right now, doesn't he?
Yes, and that's not nothing. That's something that could scare teams away. But when you talk about the Eagles and the Cowboys, for example, what void do both of them have? The Cowboys, for example, they have elite corners and an elite defensive line and edge rushers, but one of the guys they're expecting to be one of their best contributors, Leighton Vander Esch, is out for the season, and I'm at the point where I don't think you should expect anything from Leighton Vander Esch going forward, because he's had a ton of injuries, particularly in the neck, which is not necessarily good. And then you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, who have an elite defensive line and a lot of talent in the secondary, although it hasn't panned out, but I think Kevin Byard will ultimately help. But who did they lose to free agency? They lost TJ Edwards. So if you slide
Zach Cunningham just got hurt for him.
And that is absolutely true. So if you slide in Shaq Leonard and maybe think that he could regain some of his old Colts form, that would be just another piece to the embarrassment of riches that both the Cowboys and Eagles have on their defense, whoever gets them. So I think at this point, I'm 1,000%. I would say after the Packers game for sure. I'm done expecting Super Bowl for the Lions right now, and that's okay as long as they continue to build it correctly and compete for them for years to come, but that's never guaranteed.
I just thought, and for me, my expectations never changed. I thought they'd win a playoff game and then fall short after that, and I'm cool with that, Lucas, but there's a part of me that always wondered, like, if Brad sat there and thought, you know what, we could win a playoff game, but if we get this guy and we get this guy, we could go a little farther. And maybe we can compete with some of these top teams. Maybe he feels like we're far away from doing that. Not far away, but we're not on that level yet. Not a Chase Young or a Shaq Leonard won't push us over and beat a 49ers or Eagles, which, okay, that's his philosophy. But I agree with Tim Wilson. Stop with the next year junk, please. For F's sake, this league is so vital. You can never just count on next year. What if Hutch goes down? What if Goff goes down? Schedule difficulty next year. And Tim Wilson's actually 100% correct.
Spot on.
And that was really my concern. But again, this is the plan that Brad Holmes has laid out. We have to just see it out. And again, next year, I think the Lions will be a good team again. Even though the schedule will get harder and they'll be tested, they'll be a better team because now you'll have a full offseason, you'll have the draft. I think they'll have more talent. But he is right. This league isn't a promise. It isn't. Yeah. Things happen. I mean, you lose your quarterback. Look at Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers. Things can happen.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are all spot on. The thing that just frustrates me is I hope that this is the last year we have to deal with this, as far as just waiting and seeing, because you can only go so far in this league with rookies and very young talent being your best players. You need a guy who, I know Shaq Leonard doesn't have a ton of playoff experience, but he has a ton of experience against elite quarterbacks, elite running backs, elite offensive line. And you look around the Lions defense, Alex Anzalone was pretty much the only guy that they had to do that. And Alex Anzalone hurt right now. So this is kind of contradictory to me at this point, just because there's an obvious hole with a veteran presence. Really, your only veteran on defense beside Tracy Walker and Cam Sutton that are out there. And I hope it's last year, but I understand where he's coming from. To your guys' point, it's probably just a year behind of where we want him to be, but it is frustrating, but there's nothing you can do. I don't think you should have any expectations that either Shaquille Leonard or Shaquille Griffin is coming to Detroit, even though both of them would be exactly what the Lions need right now.
I think that was one of the more wiser things that you've said on this show, and you've said many wise things for the record, that I hope this is the last year that we have to deal with this, because I forgot who made the comment, but the whole next year thing, it bothers me a little bit because nothing is guaranteed in the NFL. Although the Lions do have a lot of young foundational pieces, we just never know. Are they set up for success as near the top of the teams that are set up success in the NFL for years to come? Absolutely, or at least so we think as of right now. They have a lot of the pieces in place, like young guys, rookie contracts, all of that. But eventually, I want to see them make maybe more of an all-in move, and they were just not willing to do that. But hey, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Bruce Irvin, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to be useless or anything that, but
I actually like the DPJ move, but you're right, that's not really the position group maybe we thought they would be targeting, but they needed a wide receiver. I get all of that. I think the Lions are still a good team.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're the 49ers or Eagles.
Yeah, because I saw Phil.
Maybe even not Dallas.
I saw Phil put in the comments, and it's not a shot at Phil whatsoever. I think he was just genuinely asking. He's like, so the Lions are not good? And it's like, no, the Lions are definitely a very good team. But the moves that the other teams, the already elite teams are making them from elite to very elite, and the Lions, they're trying to get to that elite level, and I think they're just right now they're very good.
We're just kind of chilling.
Yeah, and for where the Lions have been the last 5 years, I will take it. I'm more than happy with
100%.
But to put me over the moon and be like, sign me up, Lions Super Bowl, I think another move or two had to be made, and it didn't. So I'm hoping I can be sign me up, Lions Super Bowl next season.
Yeah, RP says they didn't want to sacrifice long-term pieces to get short-term pieces. Well, I get what you're saying, RP, for trades, but Shaq he's just an addition. Like, they're not going to have to give up draft capital to get Shaq Leonard. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or get a Shaquille Griffin. You just sign him for the rest of the year. That's all you got to do. But again, to your point, maybe Lions fans, and I'm guilty of this, it's been a long time since you've seen this type of team. So we tend to think, well, we get eager, we get desperate. We think to ourselves, well, we should go all in. Not all in to sacrifice the future, but if you're going to throw a pick away and go get a damn good proven player, I'm cool with it. But maybe Brad feels like, hey, we're not there yet. Next year we will be. So we'll see what happens. Let's go to break. When we come back, I want to get into some of the mismatches, some of the things I brought up. I already teased a little bit to John, but I want your guys' thoughts on kind of how the Lions could take advantage of the Saints. We'll have that discussion when we come back. But first, we got to hear about our friends from Swiss Insurance.
Yes. Do you have football on the brain? Of course you do. Fall is in college and professional football, and this year has been awesome. Fall is also a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at swissins.com or call 248-800-4177. Again, that is 248-800-4177, Swiss Insurance.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests, for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Glorious Cannabis is dropping their new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. It smells so good, it's like the whiff of the first playoff win in 31 years. Smells so good. Gassy, aggressive strain, named in honor of our Detroit football team. And if you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, then what are you waiting for? Head to a Dispo dispensary soon and ASAP. With 25% off, code word, use Woodward Glorious, and check them out online today at gloriouscanna.com.
Before we get to some of the mismatches that I think are the Lions could expose the Saints in a couple of different ways, I'll get to that. But JV, I want your thoughts. I didn't get to your last segment, but the whole Shaq Leonard stuff. I'm not saying Shaq Leonard's the piece because, again, he's choosing between the Cowboys and the Eagles, all that.
And they don't sign with the Dolphins. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, I get all that. And I don't think Shaq Leonard was coming to Detroit, but the fact that Brad hasn't really been trying to add in free agency, does that bother you? Where are you at with it? Or you understand the Lions maybe feel like they're not there yet? They're a year away.
I understand his philosophy, but I'm not happy with it, if that makes sense. Like, I can understand where he's coming from, but I'm still going to be upset at the fact that you didn't at least go out there and try and go after someone, get someone new, fresh on this line. I mean, you got all these practice guys, as the doc said before, that they see potential in, but coming as far as fans go and, you know, the people who have watched this product, they're just like, no, these guys aren't going to be the next Randy Moss or the next Ray Lewis or something like that you have on the practice squad. They could be later on in their career, but that's not right now.
No Jake Bobo.
They're not. No Jake Bobo. They're not right now.
They're actually not Jake Bobo.
That's the thing that frustrates me so much. Like, you can't pull these guys up from practice squad and expect them to be just superstars just right off the bat. I know everything takes time, but right now, like, you need to capitalize on the opportunity that's been handed in front of you with the schedule and you know how wonky the season has been with other NFL teams as well too. Take advantage of what you have right now and go after it. I hate hearing that term, next year is our year.
Right.
Next year is our year. I'm tired of hearing that same old philosophy over and over again. I'm just done with it. Just do what you have to do right now. At least look. Tell me that you at least tried, and then I will feel a little bit okay about that.
There you go. Just be in the conversations. I appreciate. I do. Well said, JB. I do want to bring up some of the things that I think the Lions could take advantage of, despite not having a significant free agency addition. Bruce Irvin, though, he's coming in. Hey, you go wreck this game on Sunday. You should. Yes, that intro. We need the Undertaker. Well, Big D Energy has it copyrighted, so I got to watch. The noise of the Undertaker. So I gotta watch with that. But Bruce Irvin. We'll see if he plays. A couple different things I think the Lions could take advantage of, and John already brought it up, but the Lions, this is a perfect opportunity for not only the offensive line to get back on track, Sam, with their pass pro and just play like they've played all year, but their run blocking. This run game is due to get back on track. They are, and I think this is a perfect opportunity to do that. You're on the road. The Lions rushing offense right now, 6th in the NFL, 6th, 136.9 yards per game. The Saints' run defense is 23rd in the NFL. They allow
very surprising.
They allow 124 yards on the ground per game. That's a mismatch. And this is a Lions, again, you want to take care of the football. You want to take the ball, at least keep Jared Goff protected and just make it easy decision making. Well, run the football and establish play action. Sure. That's right. That's Jared Goff's bread and butter, Sam Flannel. That's how you get back on track. You you run the football all over the Saints and at the Superdome. That's all you do.
And the Saints, they have some rotational pieces on the defensive line, edge rushers, and even in the linebacking core with Demario Davis and Pete Werner, who are solid. But
Pete Werner.
Hey,
Pete Werner. That was a Lucas guy coming out of his mouth.
Of course
that is a Lucas Klotz like just dream guy. But I didn't expect him to be this good. But he's been solid in the NFL. Playing alongside Demario Davis. But the Saints have some pieces on their defensive line that are solid, but they also might be missing Cam Jordan. And even if he is playing, he's rapidly becoming, and I say this with the utmost respect to his probable Hall of Fame career, the corpse of Cam Jordan. He's rapidly approaching that point. I probably shouldn't have said that right.
It's the Jeff curse.
Yes.
Don't call him a corpse, Sam.
Yes. I probably should
He'll
have.
wreck the game.
They got Carl Granderson. They've got Malcolm Roach, who is probably their best defensive tackle this year, but they're also relying on some rookies to be big contributors like Isaiah Foskey and Brian Brzee, both who have a lot of promise but have also had some rookie growing pains. And then on the interior, they've got Caden Saunders and Nathan Shepard, they're actually, I would say, worse than the defensive tackles when it comes to the Lions, because at least the Lions have an Aleem McNeil. The Saints don't have any of that. So I like the idea of the Lions establishing the run and play action, going right down their throat against a run defense that has not performed very well. And then, like you said, that sets up play action with maybe the Lions having the lead where Jared Goff is at his best, because I think we've spent a lot of time these last couple weeks, and rightfully so, talking about a lot of Jared Goff's weaknesses and what he can't do. But if he's got everything around him working and he can, and play action and the running game can be established, he can pick you apart. And the Saints might be ripe for the picking at this point, and the Lions could have a nice get-right game. I know it's at the Superdome, I know it's at New Orleans, but the Saints, I think at this point I'm ready to say that the Saints stink. I thought they were going to be good coming into this year, but they're an under 500 team 11 games into the season. They've had a lot of bad losses and no really good wins except maybe at Indianapolis.
And the other thing is the first mismatch, how the Lions can take advantage of them, Lucas, is the run game. Mm-hmm. Saints run defense, weak. Lions run offense, great. There's your opportunity to take advantage. The next thing I think is a mismatch and the Lions could take advantage of. Or not take advantage of, but more so they can improve. They can improve on. Yeah, seduce. Lions red zone defense 30th in the league. 68.6 conversion rate.
Sucks in the red zone.
Now,
always has. Wherever he went, that's like his thing.
The Lions red zone defense is damn near bottom of the league. Mm-hmm. Not great, but guess what? Saints red zone offense 29th in the league.
Take that.
42.5% conversion rate. So you get.
Sorry, that one slipped out. From earlier.
Hold on a sec.
That was a lot louder than I planned on. I kind of leaned to the side so it'd squeak out, but
that's a gassy screen right there.
Gassy aggressive screen.
Gassy aggressive screen.
No, hold on. No way. No way. No. I'm not even going. No, we're going to break.
Gassy aggressive screen.
Throw a flag on the play. No.
Motherfucker.
What the hell was that?
Bro, I damn near shit myself, but it didn't happen. We're okay. You know when you like lean to the side and you like clasp or something, like make this one quiet? Just didn't come out quiet. That's what happened.
It's not quiet.
It wasn't an efficient part. We'll say that.
I said red zone. You thought I meant brown zone. I don't know what the hell you thought I said.
Car in the red zone right there.
That's actually true.
Damn it! All right. You know what? Yeah.
Normally it would at least sound like the chair creaking, but not even
okay. So, yeah. So the Lions red zone defense. Yeah, you know what, dude? I don't even know what to say right now. You just took the words out of my mouth with that, dude. Impressive though. Chuck says he needs to change those drawers. Yeah, that's fair.
They're all right.
They're
dry
fair.
still.
God damn.
Uncle Neil says that fart stopped Jeff right in his tracks.
Probably the Coney Island from last night. I got like Coney Island after I worked out at like 11 last night. 3 chili dogs, some curly fries, and some mott sticks.
Oh, there you go. That's where you went wrong.
That's what's doing it, boys.
Yeah.
An 11 o'clock dinner too with an early wake up. Man,
yeah,
that's
11 o'clock Coney. Fortnight before I went to bed too.
Damn.
Fuck, you know about that?
Oh, all right.
Hey.
11 o'clock Coney. You got drunk. Oh, man, that's something wrong.
Dante says that fart was Jamal Williams rushing yards and touchdowns.
That's actually true this year. He's been terrible.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, Lions, although they have a bad red zone defense, Saints have a great red zone offense. So that's, I think, it's going to be an opportunity for the Lions' red zone defense to improve. And the defense, like John said, they got to make some plays. They got to force some turnovers. But regardless, let's get the hell out of here. Let's change. Let's regroup. Let's regroup. Let's take a breather. Hopefully you're not breathing in there. Hopefully not.
I'm immune.
That's tough. And then when we get back, we'll bring up the graphic that I think is super, super intriguing. It's Penei Sewell versus Trent Williams this season, man, and it's closer than you think. And we'll have that discussion. Penei Sewell, All-Pro? Maybe so, maybe not. But before we do that, though, I got to tell you about our friends over at Big Boy, because wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. I don't know what comfort foods you've been eating, Lucas.
I should head over to Big Boy.
No, you should not. No, you should not. No, not on. Don't go at 8 to 10. You can go anytime before or after, all right? Or maybe not before, but after. How about breakfast? Stuffed potato pancakes are back. Classic lumberjack or Santa Fe Garden. Also the new apple pie hotcakes that are too good to miss. Top it all off with the
you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports Crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. To join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions!
With money on the line, featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Let's talk about Outdoor Equipment Co. Official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan-grown, family-owned Bad Boy mowers, tractors, steel handhelds, and even weed whippers, Liberty trailers, generators, snow X-Plows, and salters. Outdoor Equipment Co. has it all. Buy it, rent it, 0% financing, deliver to your doorstep. Just visit their website at outdoorequipco.com.
Man, the morning show chat, man, it keep me going. They're hilarious. I mean, these comments are killing me right now. Mitten Nate says, that fart got more push than our pass rush. Oh, that's funny as hell, man. Oh, my gosh. That is funny as hell. Oh, my gosh. You guys are funny. All right, let's get to let's get to Penei Sewell and Trent Williams. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, let's do it. All right, put up the graphic. Let's do it. All right, here you go. Penei Sewell versus Trent Williams on the season so far. Isn't this crazy? 11 games for Penei Sewell, 9 for Trent Williams. Had a little bit of an injury there, but look at this. Look at how you measure tackles in this league: pressures, QB hits, penalties. He's given up less pressures, 1 more QB hit, and 1 less penalty. Now, you know how I feel. Like the pressure thing. How is it? How is it measured? I don't know. I'm more so in it. QB hits, I think, are a little more important there. But still, look how close it is for Penei Sewell, man, in his second season. Like, we know how great Trent Williams was before he got to the 49ers. Penei Sewell has 2 years in this league. Yeah. 2 years, Sam Flannel. And he's already compared to a Hall of Fame tackle. That's where he's going. And this is a guy that needs to be a Lion for life. No question about it.
Oh, sure. And without a shadow of a doubt, Penei Sewell is rapidly becoming one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL. You know what you might be looking at right there? Your bookend first-team All-Pro tackles. Yep. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that as of right now. You've got your no-doubt first-ballot Hall of Famer in Trent Williams and the guy in Penei Sewell who is trending towards having that career trajectory as well. And if you want to include another metric, do you know where Penei Sewell actually leads Trent Williams in? My favorite website, Pro Football Focus. He is the number one.
I got these stats from Flannel.
Hey, I bet you guys like PFF now. We're talking about Penei Sewell. He is the number 1 rated tackle according to PFF. And you know what? You can scoff at PFF all you want, but they do have very valuable information when it comes to stats like pressures allowed and hits and sacks allowed and all of that. And Penei Sewell is right now the leader in the pack. So
yep.
You're right. It's very, very impressive when you've got a guy in Penei Sewell who is playing, he's already on a level of a guy who's basically a Hall of Famer in his prime right now. I don't know if Trent Williams, you'd think he wouldn't be in his prime because he's getting up there in age, but his level of play shows that he is in his prime, and his actual prime years have been in San Francisco. So very, very impressive, and I'm just glad that Penei Sewell is on the Lions.
Yes, I am absolutely glad. I just can't keep it in, Lucas, man. Some of these comments are killing me, man. Herb Nash says Lucas with the WSN tush push.
Oh my God.
Corey Berry says Panay blows people off the ball. Lucas blows farts against his balls.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, dude! You got, this is gonna be tough. No, this is gonna be tough. What would PFF grade? What would PFF give that, Lucas, from earlier? What would they give you the grade of the fart?
I'd give it an 85.
85.
I got some 90s in me, but that was an 85.
Okay.
Like when you wake up in the morning and just morning farts, those are like a 95 PFF grade.
Yeah, that
explosiveness, quick burst, everything you could possibly need.
This man has a scouting report.
The tone.
Dude, I swear to gosh. But yeah, I listen. But in all seriousness, Lucas, because I can't. It's gonna be tough now. See, now you got me off the rails, which is funny. It's hilarious. But I want your thoughts on Panay Sewell versus Trent Williams, because he's an All-Pro, but Panay Sewell's playing like one.
Yeah, and I would say, and I think you can't. Obviously, Trent's been hurt, but you can't take that away from Panay either. I think Panay's been the best tackle in football this year, and Flannel's almighty PFF, who does come in handy sometimes. They back it up too. But I just think even with the eye test, like. Panay, he struggled a little against the Packers, but I think that whole offensive line did as a whole. I don't think a single soul showed up to the offensive line, get ready to block Rashawn Gary last week. So, yeah, you can take that away from him, but Panay, in my opinion, the best tackle, and you could even say lineman in football this year.
Well, and you know what else is good about Panay Sewell? He's proven to be very, very durable. I don't believe he's missed a game in his NFL career. And as much as we love Trent Williams, and he is a first ballot Hall of Famer when he retires, did you guys know that he has not played a full season in 9 years? He always has something. He always has these little like nicks and bruises and all that. And I know he held out for an entire year, but it actually worked out for him, unlike Le'Veon Bell. But Panay Sewell is, like I said, I did not think by this season he would already be. You can say, Lucas, you said it. I'll even say that I can't hate it, and I might back it up. In year 3, he might be the best offensive lineman in the NFL. That's insane.
I'm trying to think, like, who would be the guards?
Well, I want to correct this too. I said year 2, he's year 3. I just want to make that clear. Year 3, I mean, he's already top there. You talk about guards. I mean, Zach
Martin.
Yeah, Zach Martin.
But I feel like he's kind of in the Trent Williams conversation, where it's like he's obviously very good, but he's not quite the Zach Martin that he used to be.
And that's fair.
I mean, he's still playing like a Hall of Fame player. Like, you could say Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson too, but both of those guys playing at an extremely high level, but you can tell they're starting to get on the decline a tad.
And that's what's going to help Panay, I think, at least for tackles, because Lane's missed a game or two. Now he might miss some time, and I think he'll be back this week, but we'll see. He's been injured, and he's dealing with a lot. He's dealt with a lot of injuries in his career. Trent Williams has missed some games. Like Panay, like you said, Sam Flannel, he has the durability side to it, but he also has the consistency side to it, where he's played well. And I think that'll be good enough to earn all pros. I think this season the Lions could have 2 guys offensively that are all pro. Yeah. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown and it'll be Panay Sewell.
I think Panay's a lock.
Yes,
Panay's way more of a lock than at least for a first-team All-Pro.
Yeah. Amon-Ra, he's not going to get first team, but he will certainly. I'd say he's trending towards second team. I know it's going to be close.
We were having the conversation on Woodward Nights, because think about it, you got Tyreek, AJ Brown, CD.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Amon-Ra already averages more yards per game and a lot of other things like reception as well compared to those guys. Like, I think that next All-Pro team's got to be Amon-Ra, Keenan, and probably like Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, or maybe. Well, and that's the thing. There's somebody that we left out that I think, especially not playing with his quarterback. I was going to say Jamar Chase, but he's going to be playing with Jake Browning the rest of the year.
And even when he had, Jamar Chase and Amon-Ra the whole season have been like tink, 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 and Amon-Ra missed a game.
I mean, talk about who's up there. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown, if you talk about receiving yards, he's 6th in the NFL right now. He has 993. DJ Moore, AJ Brown, CD Lamb, Keenan Allen, and Tyreek Hill are all above him, but DJ Moore had that one game where he had like 200-something yards.
Against the Commanders by Sam Howell.
Yeah.
It's the night the blood clot passed.
Oh, that's right.
That is true.
Justin Fields, I don't think he's thrown for... I don't think he's scored a touchdown through the air since that game.
So there are a lot of there's going to be a lot of conversations in that for that wide receivers.
But
I think Amon-Ra deserves to be first team. Like, he'll be an All-Pro at whatever it is, however he makes it. I believe. The season he's having. I said he'd had 1,400. We'll see how that trends.
No Justin Jefferson, too. That leaves open a spot.
Yeah. And then Devontae with Aiden O'Connell, he ain't going to
That's another one.
I love Devontae.
He's out, and I love Devontae, too. He's out.
Mike Evans, close, but I don't think he's having the season Amon-Ra is.
No, he's not. And that's been the problem, too. So I think Amon-Ra St. Brown and Penei Sewell, 2 All-Pros this year. I think those 2 offensively, you'll have 2 All-Pros.
Of course.
Let's go to break here. When we get back, we'll preview tonight's game. Dallas versus the Seahawks.
Oh, God, it is Thursday night.
Yeah.
Yep, Cowboys versus Seahawks. It's going to be a good game tonight.
Yeah,
It'll be a good
hopefully.
game. 2 NFC teams, Cowboys trying to chase that number 2 seed. We'll see. Well, they got the Eagles coming up, so we'll see. Maybe they can give the Eagles an L2 when we come back. But first, we got to hear about our friends from Guardian Alarm.
Yes, let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people have been proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then, she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That is exactly what Mark White & Associates offers. It's called the Minute-by-Minute Listing Agreement by Mark White & Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Comments coming in, man, they're cracking me up. They are. Still,
Richter scale Lucas.
Herb Nash says 1-800-PUSH-OUT. But to preview tonight's game, Dallas Cowboys, they welcome in the Seattle Seahawks. They're favored by 9.5. It's at home. Dallas is 5-0 at home. And you have a Seahawks team that doesn't have Kenneth Walker. Geno Smith's hurt. His elbow's something wrong. He doesn't look right.
Thing's nasty.
Yeah.
Did you see the videos of him, like, before games, like, him getting his elbow, like, massage, basically? They had, like, a mini, like, snow shovel, and they were just grinding on his elbow, trying to get all the swelling out. And the thing, he might be cooked for the whole season.
Yeah,
like, that elbow, it's on his throwing arm.
That's a problem.
Yep.
It's not, I don't know if they're full Brock Purdy yet with what he went through, but it ain't good.
Drew Lock season?
Oh, my God.
You smell that?
I think you're smelling something else in that sound booth. If I'm being real.
The two things could be true.
Yeah.
But the smell of Drew Lock season.
But you are correct. Drew Lock torched that Cowboys defense. No, I'm just kidding. But I think Dallas, this is a game where they're gonna take care of the Seahawks. They're favored by 9.5. I think they cover. They do this thing where they whop on bad teams, which I think actually deserves credit because there are teams that'll play all teams close. And again, it's the NFL. You win. I get all that, but when you destroy the Commanders on Thanksgiving, you destroy these teams you're supposed to beat. I do think they deserve credit there. I still will poke fun at them because I've not seen a big win yet. Maybe they can get one. They got the Eagles coming up. We'll see. But this game ain't it, Sam. I'm not even going to try and make the argument why the Seahawks will test the Cowboys. They got a good secondary. You got a plethora of wide receivers with Seattle. You got Geno Smith who's hurt. Even if Drew Lock comes in there, he's going to have a bad day. Micah Parsons and those guys are going to get after him. So I got Dallas, and I think they covered it at home. They'll be undefeated.
Yeah, I've got Dallas in this one as well. And I'm not saying that it's a big game or anything like that, because the Seahawks, they're not as good as we thought that they were, although they didn't look that way against the Lions. But be that as it may, that's irrelevant right now. And they're going to Dallas, and Geno Smith is definitely hampered, and Kenneth Walker is out. I think this is a game that if the Dallas Cowboys lose, it will be open season on them from every media outlet, from the national ones to even us, to for somebody like me who has been higher on the Cowboys than a lot of people. I will just have to sit back and be like, they're fraudulent chokers again. But I don't think that's going to happen, because you know what I think is going to happen in this game? I think that, oh boy, here, I'm going to do it again. I think
Micah Parsons is going to come off the edge, hit Geno Smith, force a fumble, and Geno Smith is going to leave the game.
That's actually what's going to happen.
No,
for real. He's already banged up. Come on. I don't want it to happen. I wish for a clean bill of health for one Geno Smith. But this Seahawks offensive line cannot touch this Cowboys defensive line. You've got Micah Parsons coming like a bat out of hell from the edge. You've got DeMarcus Lawrence. You've got Osa. You've even got Sam Williams. Yeah, you've got Dante Fowler. You've got all of those guys, and then when they don't get quite home, and they have to get rid of the ball before they want to, Geno Smith, especially with that that injury, you know who's there waiting in the secondary? Deron Bland. What if he picks one off and takes one to the house again?
It's a possibility.
I think the only analysis that I have to give on this game is I don't think that the Seahawks will get to 14 tonight. And obviously, I think that the Cowboys can get to at least 20.
I don't think that's crazy. I could see like a 31-10 win.
That's actually a good score.
I'm seeing like a 31-13, 31. Even if they go 14, I'm with Sam. I don't know if they can get a 17. They can get to 20.
I think the Cowboys are going to win this game, but I think it's going to be closer than people are giving them credit for. Not so because of the Seahawks offense, but the Seahawks defense matches up with the Cowboys offense very well. Devon Witherspoon's been balling out. He's going to give CD Lamb some trouble. And on the defensive side, like in the secondary, with the safeties, you got Kobe Bryant, you got Jamal Adams. You can say what you want about them. They got decent safety play. Then if CD's kind of having like a slower game, Tony Pollard's in there. They got Leonard Williams, Bobby Wagner. Who's their other defensive end that's been going crazy this year?
Boye Mafe.
Yeah, Boye Mafe. So they match up somewhat solid against the Cowboys offense, but then you go to the Cowboys defense side of the ball. That's where I think later in the game the Cowboys will pull away. So it's going to be a Cowboys win, but I think 13's a good prediction for the Seahawks offense, but I think the Cowboys will have like 21-24.
And I think what will help them, because I like that's what they have with the Seahawks, that defense. I think what will help them, to Sam's point, they're going to force turnovers.
Yeah, they will.
Like Micah Parsons strip sack at the 20-yard line, boom, Dallas scores. I don't think there'll be a lot of times where Dallas has to go completely all the way down the field to score.
That's fair, but I think when they do, the Seahawks defense can give them trouble. Does that make sense? All right, we should be good now. Talk, Jeff?
We good?
Hello.
Yes, sir. All right,
cool,
we're good.
cool. Hey.
Thank you guys for being patient there. A little bit. I don't know whatever you did in that booth, man. You sabotaged something. All right.
The farts were reeking into it. The odor.
Could be.
Talking about too much good news about the Cowboys right now. That's what's happening.
Yeah,
shutting down our
the
internet.
football gods. Took out the router there. But regardless, give me your score prediction, Lucas. What do you think?
I'm gonna go 21-13.
Okay, 21-13.
Yeah, I'll go 24-13.
24-13. I got 27-13, 24-10.
Yes.
What about you, JB? How do you see it playing out?
I honestly feel like the Cowboys are going to end up beating up on the Seahawks tonight. Like 32-17.
Okay. I mess with it. All right.
32. JB, where are you getting that one from?
I don't know. I just threw it out there. I was like 32, maybe 33.
Hey, voice of reason.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Safety.
Yep.
Don't question it. Safety. You heard him. All right. Let's go to break here. We'll start what's trending with Lucas a little early, because I do our things. I'm going to send you a couple suggestions that I just kind of came upon. I think it would be funny as hell.
So it's what's trending with Jeff now, not what's trending with Lucas.
It's just a suggestion.
Okay.
You don't have to take it.
All right.
Damn.
All right.
Pause.
Oh, well, yeah, pause on that. Yeah, big pause on that. But first, we got to hear about our friends from Dispo.
Yes, experience Dispo Romeo, a team that curates an exclusive atmosphere mixed with fresh inventory from Michigan's largest variety of products. The first ever cannabis mall of its kind is conveniently located off of Van Dyke and 32 Mile Road in Romeo. Dispo Romeo is now open late night until midnight every day except Sunday. Can it get any better than that? Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford has been doing by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford at Dearborn today. Find the brand you want at lesstanford.com. You guys know what time it is. Check the clocks, check the watches. What's trending with Lucas? Lucas, what do you got for us today? Talk to us.
We've seen the 33rd team, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Equanimous St. Brown. They got their podcast going, but they had a special guest on this week. Flannel. As much as I can't stand the Michigan Wolverines, I do have immense respect for Blake Corum. But he kind of talked about what he thinks about all-time teams and with the 33rd team, and this is what he had to say.
You don't even say Reggie, just say 5. All right.
Okay, I like that.
Receiver, go ahead. You got to take receiver now.
I'll take Braylon Edwards.
All right.
Nah, Braylon's a good dude. I met him actually like a month ago for the first time.
All right.
So
I'm on
Braylon and then me.
Okay. Pick another receiver. You got another receiver? Go ahead.
Another receiver?
Yeah.
They kind of, so shout out to Blake, repping the Wolverines, obviously, and our man Braylon Edwards, but Amon-Ra St. Brown and Equanimous St. Brown, you could tell they were kind of stunned. So what do you guys think when you see that video? Shout out Bray, by the way.
Nobody should be stunned. I mean, you're talking about a guy, Braylon Edwards, and I get Amon-Ra's joking there, obviously, because they've met and they're cool, but Amon-Ra, you should know, listen, you talk about, your brother EQ not knowing ball. You got to know ball, man. I mean, in 3 years, Braylon Edwards got 3,500 yards at Michigan and almost 40 touchdowns. I would say that's a great pick from Blake Corum. That's a hell of a pick from Blake Corum.
Ball nowhere take.
Yeah.
Ball nowhere take, absolutely.
I mean, if you scoff at the idea that Braylon Edwards would be the first overall pick when you talk about all-time USC and Michigan wide receivers,
and
then
Notre Dame too.
Oh, and Notre Dame, you're just ill-informed at this point because Braylon Edwards, he did win a Biletnikoff Award. He was so good that he ended up being a top 5 pick in the NFL. I believe the number 3 overall pick in the NFL. To me, I think you could argue that he's the best college wide receiver that I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. He just happened to play at Michigan. I guess if you want to talk about USC, you could, or Notre Dame, you could go Keyshawn Johnson because he was
because we were talking about yesterday. Golden Tate won one.
Golden Tate won one.
Tim Brown.
Yeah, Tim Brown won a Heisman. Ooh, but yeah,
but it's close. But how many receivers in college football history have put up 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons?
Not many. No, Braylon Edwards was an all-time great college receiver.
It's not even just the 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. It's the 3 consecutive double-digit touchdown seasons too, dude.
Yeah, just dominate.
Dominate. I mean, he had 1,330 yards and 15 TDs his last year, and with 97 catches. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's not a bad take whatsoever.
So
JD, what do you think?
No, so I actually have the full team that they selected on their live stream.
Oh.
Yeah, so all right. So Blake Corum took Tom Brady at quarterback, himself at running back, Desmond Howard and Braylon Edwards at wide receiver, and flex position they chose Charles Woodson, where Amon-Ra chose Caleb Williams at quarterback, Reggie Bush at running back, himself and Marquise Lee.
Marquise
Lee. He was a dog.
At wide receiver.
He was.
And then for the flex position, they took Andre Jackson?
Yeah.
Adoree Jackson.
Adoree
Jackson. I apologize. Yeah, Adoree Jackson.
Those
are the two teams.
I'm gonna be honest. Like Marquise Lee is one of the dudes that his sophomore year, he was him.
Him and Robert Woods, another good
Yeah.
USC wide receiver.
He had 1,700 yards.
Mike Williams too.
Yeah.
Like the one that just passed away. All right.
Dwayne Jarrett.
I think that's a solid team. Although to Amon-Ra, to Sane and EQ's point, they kind of mentioned that you're taking college versions of these players. So Tom Brady,
that's a bad
team.
Got the college version of Tom Brady.
McCarthy.
Yeah. Who would you take?
So for all-time Michigan players,
Is your quarterback?
Denard.
No, I think JJ could play his way into that, but as of right now, I would probably take either Brian Griese or Elvis Gerbach at this point. But if
that's a fucking name.
If we're going, but honestly, it sounded like Blake Corum was just picking Michigan players and Amon-Ra was just picking USC. But
I guarantee that.
If we're talking about both, got to go with Matt Leinart, right?
Well, that's Caleb
Quinn?
Amon-Ra went with Caleb Williams.
Oh, that's a good one too.
And I'm like, he's
all right,
right.
get Caleb over Matt Leinart.
And Blake was only selecting Michigan, so he went with Tom Brady. But it's good stuff. Good stuff.
Well, and something else that's good stuff. C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He's been active on social media recently, and he dropped this for Lions fans. December 20th, the Lions emoji. Do you think that this is possibly the day that we get C.J. Gardner-Johnson, CD Deuce, Lucas Klotz's favorite Detroit Lion on the team currently? Do you think he will return December 20th? Is that what this means?
Well, it's tough because he gets direct communication with the doctor. The doc. And I think he puts out this. That's why I love CD Deuce, because he puts out the information before the Lions even get a hold of it. He's like, hey, I'm coming back December 20th.
Dan's like, oh, that'd be a miracle.
Yeah, and then the last Dan, he'll be like, well, I don't know, we'll see. I think that I think he will be back. He's the type of player that when he says something like that, he wants to be there. He stands on business. I think he will be there December 20th.
It isn't a torn pec one of those injuries where it was like initially, like with modern medicine, you can come back from in like 12 weeks or something like that.
Well, if Aaron Rodgers,
if
Aaron Rodgers can just be,
that's insane,
fixed, then I think CD Deuce can come back from a torn pec.
That would be huge.
How is Aaron Rodgers about to practice? Like, his practice window's open.
Yeah, am I the only one that
How does
thinks
that make any sense?
Does anyone think that's just Broussarded? Like that's just not a good idea? Like the man's Achilles is about to fall off his bone like a really good rib? Or just falls straight off the bone?
No, it's a little suspicious. I'll definitely give him that, though, just to see him back so quick. And I don't know, it kind of makes me speculate, what really happened on that first play at the beginning of the year. And
do you possibly think that his Achilles is not torn, JB?
What if he tore his calf?
Yeah, I think it was something else that they just didn't want to tell us, and then they went to the extreme of saying, he tore his Achilles.
Yeah, that's just weird.
It's
like, you're 39, and why would you even return this season?
No.
What? Why?
The Jets have nothing job.
They have nothing to play for, and you're 39. What if he gets re-injured and then you're out next season? It's just dumb. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes no sense. It really does make zero sense.
It's just asking for worse thing to happen. I think that's how you force his way into retirement.
Yeah.
If he has any type of other injury, man, like, what's the point?
Well, I mean, in theory, too, couldn't the New York Jets kind of do like a Cincinnati Bengals style bounce back with Aaron Rodgers presumably healthy and that good defense? And
you think this year?
No, next year. Because the Bengals and the Jets are both like down. We didn't think they were going to be because of quarterback injuries. I mean, you've seen that Jets defense. I mean, a guy like Quincy Williams has even emerged, and Bryce Huff. I mean, guys who you didn't even think about but are emerging, but you still got the usual suspects like the Sauce Gardners and the Quinn Williams.
They just need an offensive line more
Jermaine Johnson's another one.
Like, maybe Aaron, I know he wants to play football and he misses it, but a part of me just thinks he's like, you know what? I could get back and I could bring this team into a wild card spot. Like, Aaron, no matter who's behind that offensive line, you're going to get hit a lot. So at 39 years old, just, choose wisely. That's all. You're going to get hit a lot. There's nothing they could do to fix this offensive line. It is what it is. So hopefully he doesn't. If he returns, he doesn't get killed. But yeah, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I do think he'll be back.
Okay.
I do.
And we were just talking about Caleb Williams, and there's a new rumor circulating on that Caleb Williams potentially will not declare for the NFL draft. It's a game time decision.
Oh, my.
And that he might transfer out of USC or stay there, but the other rumor circle on is that he's not going to go to the US or he's not going to go to the draft, and he's going to enter in the transfer portal. So, one, do you guys think this has some relevancy to it? Do you think it's true? And two, with the voice crack there, if he were to transfer out of USC,
no.
Which if he comes back, I think it's the smartest decision. He just went off, and how many wins do they have, Flannel? USC?
7.
So they're a 7-win team with Caleb Williams. Like, it does not make sense for him to go back to USC with all the NIL money he could get anywhere. Where is he going to transfer to if he doesn't go to the NFL?
Don't transfer. Go to the NFL. Like the bottom of that tweet said, you have to wait another year to get a record-breaking deal, like for any guy. That's why, and Amon-Ra kind of talked about this on his podcast, you go early. Even Amon-Ra said, I felt like I could return and play better, but he wanted to go right to the NFL just to get that contract. And guess what? He'll get it in a year. Like, I think, Caleb, you have nothing left to prove in college, dude. You've gotten paid a ton of money to play at USC. Go to the NFL. Go to the NFL. Get paid. You already have a ton of money you've been saving up from getting from NIL and all that stuff. There's nothing left you need to prove. Go out. You're going to go number 1. He's going to go number 1 this year. Why wait? I don't know. That's the part I don't understand. I get NIL. I get you can make money. But get to the NFL, play with the professionals, and you're 1 year closer to getting a bag. Not an NIL, I'm talking a bag.
Sure, and NIL obviously changes everything, because if this were just a few years ago, Caleb Williams would no doubt go to the NFL, because in theory, in college, just a few years ago, he would be one of the most recognizable sports figures on the planet, but still be a broke, starving college student. So, but I mean, because obviously some
just
things...
hanging out with Chris Rock on weeknights and just hanging out with celebrities.
The reason I did air quotes is because there's been chicanery going around for all the tale as old as time when it comes to college football. I'm not saying that happened with Caleb Williams. I'm just saying that you'd be naive to think that never happened before, and a lot of it has been proven, especially with like SMU and whatnot. But I digress.
The U.
What great one as well. But yeah, it depends on what Caleb Williams wants, because at some point I think becoming an NFL legend has to matter at some point. And yeah, if Caleb Williams comes back and goes to a great situation and is competing for a Heisman and maybe competing for a Natty, he could finish his career as the greatest college football quarterback ever. If he does what he did a couple years ago again and a team wins a Natty, I think he would almost like lay claim to that at that point. But you got to go to the NFL at some point, and anything can happen. You can take one bad hit, and the entire trajectory of your career could be in shambles at that point. Do I expect, with modern medicine, any injury to completely derail Caleb Williams? Not necessarily, but anything could happen. Like, I mean, anything can happen.
Especially if the Bears are picking one. I get that. Like, I get it. To some extent.
Like,
if it was
going to happen.
If it was the Giants, then I'd be like, you know what, I'm coming out. But as a Lions fan, I don't want that man in my division.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that man.
You know where most Lions fans don't want him going either? He's going to pick up the phone. Hey, Marv, you sure you want to go to the Bears this year? Nah, Caleb, I don't. But do you want to come to Ohio State? Caleb will put up the O-H-I-O. That's where he's going. That's what's happening. Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison, running back in Columbus.
His third team in college.
Either way, though, like being completely realistic, like this gives me very Kyler Murray vibes, where it's just kind of like a drama queen. I'll do what I want when I want because I'm Caleb Williams. That's where, and he'll still be the number 1 overall pick, but I think he could definitely be a distraction more than teams would like him to be in the NFL.
I wasn't. I didn't have that.
Not taking away from his talent.
No, I see what you're saying, and I'm not. I never had that thought process till now. Like, I'm starting to kind of see that as well. Like, I love Caleb. I've been a big fan of him. And I even said he could start on a lot of NFL teams right now. There's teams out there that need a quarterback like him. And I think he'll be a damn good pro. But there is part of me where I agree with Lucas. He's kind of getting a little divish. I can't even lie.
Black fingernails.
I would 1,000% agree with that at this point. I'm not saying that if I had the first overall pick, if I were the Chicago Bears, for example, that I wouldn't take Caleb Williams. But it's not like he's not, especially when it comes to talent and character and all that, he's not what Andrew Luck was or Trevor Lawrence was, almost like the perfect prospect. I think
he's more talented, though.
Right.
Well, than Andrew Luck and Trevor Lawrence?
I would say so.
I don't know.
What he can do with his feet and extending plays with the arm that he has.
The arm talent is
you
insane.
can see that he was just a killer baseball player, too, because his arm angles that he throws from are just ridiculous.
No, I don't like I don't know if he directly said this or if it was just a rumor that he was asking for part ownership of any team that drafts him. He's high and entitled if he thinks that, or he's getting bad advice, which I think is probably more likely than any of that, because there's probably a lot of people in Caleb Williams' ear, because why wouldn't you want to be in Caleb Williams' ear? His trajectory is maybe to be an NFL superstar, but also the painting the nails, the sobbing in the front row of the stands with his mom
just
after
like
a loss.
Odd behavior.
It's odd behavior, saying he's going to go home and watch some shows and cuddle up with his dog, and I get it. We've all done that when we've been sad.
Jake and Milo.
We've all done that when we've been sad, but you're in a press conference.
Emotional damage.
We don't typically. NFL GMs don't want quarterbacks with emotional damage. I'm not saying Caleb Williams does, but there are a few nitpicky style causes for pause, I will say. Causes for pause.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of with Sam, though. If, like, Jared Goff was like, man, tough loss, I'm going to go home, cuddle with my dog, and get some rest, I'd be like, not again, like, you can do that.
Bro, what did you just say?
Yeah, like, but I'd be like, okay, that's like a weird, like, I just want to curl up in a ball and get my doggy and throw his toy and cuddle with him. I'd be like, oh, whoa. This is,
you gotta get back in the film room, pal.
This is my QB1? Yo, what? But at the same time, again, he can do whatever the hell he wants. But you just don't say those things. You know what I mean? I get
JB,
it.
what are you thinking?
You know?
I'm thinking you take your chances in the NFL right now. As Flannel Sam has said, you go back one more year in college, you never know what could happen. You're probably not going to be the top dog again, and any one hit, one injury could just take you out for that entire season and then tank your whole draft stock for the following year. So take your chances that you have right now. I guarantee the Bears won't select them number 1 overall, but also this is a perfect example of the rumors about him wanting half ownership of a team right now. This goes to show that all the people that are in your camp, in your ear, talking you up, hyping you up, doing all this, aren't really the best for you. So just keep that in mind.
Bars from JB. Bars. Phil says Jeff has no feminine side. I mean, I hope not. I mean, is that like a thing that men should just have? Is a feminine
You
side?
get enough with the hair product. There's the feminine side.
Yeah, you know what? I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I think you're all right though.
And by the way,
for the most part.
And by the way, I love dogs. Absolutely love dogs. I got my own dog, Jackson. Love him. Love dogs. But he just don't. I don't know. That just sounds weird, man. Like to hear like your quarterback say, like that's just weird, man. It really is.
It's still flamboyant to say.
It's still like a grown man sport. I'm just saying.
It's like I'm gonna go home and cuddle with my dog, and we'll see.
You do that all you want if that's what helps, but doesn't make you look good or like a strong leader when you say that at a press conference.
Dr. Dirty D says Jeff's hair and fear of bees is very feminine. See, I don't mess with bees. All right, I don't love bees. That's just, it is what it is. Let's go to break. When we come back, we'll get in the mailbag. Get your questions ready. Anything Lions related, dare I say Pistons related, Redwings related, anything. Ask the question. We'll try to get to as many as we can. But first, we got to hear about our friends from Lady Jane's.
Come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, where I get my A+ haircuts from the A+ stylist, of course. And you can go for an award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams and all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tourney. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabriel Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Feldman, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer, 18 locations, and since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. Catch Woodward Sports Live from Feldman Chevrolet every other Monday at Novi. We're back. It's Mailbag. JB with the smooth beats to take us out of the show here. Bronco 81, we'll start us off with this question. Well, you know what? We'll go a little higher because Eduardo asked first. I'll get to Eduardo's. And Mailbag, chances greater than 50% that with make car like... Oh, chances greater than 50% that Lions make car look like his 2016 self.
Like the MVP Derek Carr?
I hope not. Yeah. I mean, Jesus. He
ain't got Amari Cooper, baby.
That's fair. Yeah, that is very fair. I don't know if this Carr, and we had this conversation before the season, and I like Carr. He's fine.
He's a fine quarterback.
Yeah, he's like a middle-of-the-pack guy, but again, Jordan Love isn't. He is one of the most inaccurate quarterbacks, and he was dotting up the Lions at home. So I don't know, man. Like the whole Cam Jordan stuff, like you are correct, Sam, but every time we say it, they just perform well.
Well,
so I don't even want to go there.
We certainly can't take, and Lions players, coaches, and of course us fans, we can't take Derek Carr too lightly because, as you said, Jordan Love just had his Jordan Love legacy game against the Lions. So Derek Carr is a guy who's had success in the NFL, but also coming into the year, I'm like, he gets to play with the Saints, a good roster. He certainly has to be an upgrade over Andy Dalton, right? Wrong. At this point, wrong.
Yeah.
So Derek Carr, it could either be a 2016 Derek Carr or just a get-right game for the Lions defense.
Bronco 81 says, Mailbag, can you guys discuss who you think gets in the college football playoff if all favorites win outside of Georgia? Curious to see if you guys think Georgia will get left out. No. And it's a fair question because there is a lot of different situations that could transpire. The only thing I would say Bronco 81 is I don't think Georgia gets left out. They shouldn't be, even with the loss, because of how many games they've won consecutively, dating back to last year. Like if they lose to Alabama, I don't think you should be like, well, you're out.
No,
I don't think. But he is onto something. I mean, if you got Oregon that wins, they're favorited. They'll be 12-1. Okay, Georgia loses, they're 12-1. Alabama wins, they're 12-1. You get what I'm saying?
And then Michigan.
And then if Michigan wins, they'll be undefeated. So you got
it.
That would be it.
You know what I mean? And then you have Florida State, who's undefeated. If they win, what do you do with them?
Got to keep them in.
Kick them. Florida State, technically.
You get what I'm saying? Like, it gets tricky.
You kick Florida State out. That's what you do for ratings,
but it's hard.
Game.
But if you say, well, it's hard to be undefeated.
It is, but it's also not. It's very hard to win a playoff game without your starting quarterback. Like Florida State will get the brakes blown off of them if they play an SEC team or even Michigan.
And Joe Klatt,
Oregon too.
Joe Klatt discussed this on Colin Cowherd's show, and I agree with him. It's the committee. Are we doing the best teams get in, or the most deserving teams get in? Because if it's the most deserving teams, and Florida State undefeated should get in, but I don't think it should be like that. No. I think it should be the best teams get in.
That's what the whole point of the
That's how it should be.
Is.
Absolutely. That's what I believe.
I feel like it's neither one of those. It's the best teams whose fan base are going to travel, going to spend money at wherever these bowl games are. And if that just so happens to be an Alabama, a Georgia, a Oregon, a Texas, then yeah, that's who's going to get in.
And then you got Ohio State just kind of lurking there. Their only loss, if Michigan's the #1 team in the country, just think of these scenarios though. Like if Michigan goes to the #1 team in the country, if Georgia loses, Ohio State's only loss is to the best team in the country by 1 score. Like what? Like I hate this, man. Expand the playoffs, please. I can't wait for it.
It's next year.
I know. I can't wait. I need it to be like now, so we can see these teams play each other.
Now.
Seriously. I just can't wait. But regardless, let's get to some of these questions. It was a great question, Bronco 81. Bronco 81 says Texas beat Alabama, though. So, yeah, Bronco's right. So, do you put Texas in there if they win?
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? Like, this is where it gets tricky. I do think Bronco, I don't think it should happen. Georgia gets in, I think, no matter what. But you know what? You never know. You never know. Maybe the committee says, F you, Georgia. I don't know. Who knows?
No.
I don't think they will.
No chance.
But this is why I hate this, the way it's currently set up. All right, another question. Who farted? Mailbag. If Derek Carr has a career day, are you officially on the fire AG train? No, I'm not. Because I think this is a personnel issue more so than Aaron Glenn issue. I think he deserves blame, though. But I can't say what happens. How does it transpire? Can you not get to the quarterback? I'm looking at Brad Holmes then. You know what I mean? Like, am I off on that? Like, why are we going to blame AG for having who? Charles Harris, Josh Pascal, who hasn't played well, Lee McNeil's banged up, and John Kaminsky, who hasn't played nowhere as near as well as he played last year. And you have Bruce Irvin, who's 36 years old. I don't know. I wouldn't fire Aaron Glenn, but, man, that seat's warming up.
No, I mean, you certainly don't fire Aaron Glenn, but the legacy games are starting to stack up. You got Jordan Love. You got Justin Herbert played one of the best games of his career. You got Lamar Jackson.
Had the best game of his career.
The best game of his career. I mean, Geno Smith had one of the best games of his career. And I'm not saying it's because of Aaron Glenn or anything like that. I wouldn't fire him this year, but what I really didn't want to see happen, whether it's personnel, whether it's scheme, I would lean more towards personnel, is for the Lions to have a bottom 10 scoring defense. Again, if you do that for the third year in a row, that's kind of an indictment. No matter, I mean, I know some of it was pick sixes, I know some of it was short fields, I know some of it was injuries, but things tend to even themselves out as the season goes along.
This comment too, Brad Hendricks. What's with all these weird camera angles? Looks like they're filming a dating video profile. They're filming dating video profiles. Yeah, well, that's Lucas just messing with the cameras. These camera angles, they're just it's so weird. So weird.
JB's is the best one.
Oh, it definitely is.
It's so weird. All right, let's get out of here. Appreciate you guys for joining the show. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll do a pretty heavy Lions Saints. We'll preview some of the games. Talk Michigan, Big Ten championship game. Ooh. Talk about that. We'll preview that. A lot of the we'll talk a lot about the championship games just around college football. It'll be a good show tomorrow as well to send everybody off into the weekend. Appreciate you guys for joining the show. We'll see you. Have a great Thursday. Sam Flannel, JB, Lucas Klotz, Jeff Iafrate. We'll catch you. Big D Energy, Ermanni Edwards with Maz, Heavyweights, and of course Woodward Knights. Tune into the rest of the programming. Catch you guys.